Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about how to release your money blockages so that you can allow wealth and abundance to flow into your life. So you might be wondering, what are some of my limiting belief systems around money? And in order to figure out what your personal limiting belief systems are, or your personal limiting beliefs are, you essentially just have to look around at your own life, because your life is an exact reflection of what your personal belief systems are. It's just a representation of what you really believe in. So if you find yourself like struggling, or if you find that you're working really hard and you're not able to, make or earn as much money as you want, or if you're not living like a certain lifestyle that you want to be able to live, and you feel like it's because you don't have enough money or anything like that, that is basically what your limiting belief systems are about money. And the thing about that is we pick up these beliefs as children normally. So it's also easy to look at what your parents or your grandparents believe about money and see that a lot of that can be reflected in your own belief systems. It's important to kind of analyze and like see where you picked up these beliefs from, because once you see that, then you're not only going to see what the limiting belief systems are, you're also going to see like why you picked that up in the first place. And when you're able to do that, it's going to be a lot easier for you to kind of say, that's actually not true. I just picked that up because of this experience I had as a child, but that is not true. And then once you've decided that limiting belief is not true, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to replace it with a abundant like belief system, something that's going to support you and just help you get to where you want to be. And I find that journaling really helps with this. You can also meditate and just like kind of reflect. But I find that when you're like writing things out, sometimes you unlock things and like discover things that you kind of didn't even know were there. So it can be helpful if you like don't know where to start. But basically, identifying the limiting belief is the most important step, because from there you're actually able to like disprove it. You're able to like think about it, like explain to yourself why it's not true, and to adopt new belief systems. Because if you think about it, the world is so like abundant, there's so much wealth to go around. So really the only thing that's holding you back is your own limiting belief system, and that's why it's so important to address it and to kind of remove these blockages so that you can let energy and abundance flow into your life. And I was actually talking to my coworker about this, because we were talking about, she was telling me some statistics, and she was like, did you know that men who are less qualified for jobs are actually more likely to apply than women who might feel that they're less qualified for the job? And that led me to kind of tell her that one of my favorite sayings is, you don't get what you deserve in life, you get what you think you deserve. Because if you think you deserve all these things, even if you're not necessarily like qualified for the job or whatever it is, and you go out and you go for them, then at one point you're gonna meet someone who maybe they're in like a desperate situation, maybe someone quit and they really needed to replace them like immediately. So even though you're a little bit underqualified, they just hired you. And basically you got a job that you weren't necessarily qualified for, all because you think that you deserved it. Whereas a person who may be qualified for the job but doesn't believe that they deserve it, doesn't think that they deserve it, they would never even apply, so they would never get that job. So that's kind of the saying, and that's kind of why I feel like you don't get what you deserve in life, you just get what you think you deserve. Yeah, another example is just from my place of work. I see a lot of women, especially young women, who are super qualified, but sometimes they're in positions where they're not making as much as I personally think they deserve. And the thing is, I interview people for my job sometimes, and I kind of know like the background of everybody who comes in. Like I know if they have like a master's degree, I know like how much they make and these kinds of things, because I kind of help with the interviews sometimes, like the first few rounds of the interviews. So I kind of know these things, and I find that women tend to get like lowball a lot more than men, because sometimes they're like afraid to ask for what they deserve. Like I know that certain people who have like the same, actually this is so messed up, but I'm gonna tell you guys. One of the person who works at my job just has like a bachelor's degree, right? She makes more than somebody else who has a master's degree. And that's so messed up, but it's because when you're at a place of work, if you don't ask for raises, or if you don't ask for more money when you first start, you don't like negotiate, they're gonna give you basically like the lowest option they can, because it's their job to basically save the company as much money as possible. So you always have to like back yourself, fight for yourself, and like fight for what you really deserve it. But that's where things get a little bit tricky, is because if you don't think you deserve these things, you're never gonna ask for it, and then you're never gonna get it. So that's why it's so important to address your limiting belief system, because most of the time that's like the number one thing that's holding you back. It's not like your background, your qualifications, it's your limiting belief systems. And one thing that you can do to address that actually is to write affirmations in your journal. But another thing that I think some of you will like is listening to like subliminals or reprogramming like videos on YouTube. There's a ton. I used to listen to these all the time, and it was kind of like I was in like a dark time in my life where I felt like I felt like there was a lot of lack in my life. I didn't feel like there was enough. And even though I was listening to these programs, at one point I stopped because I was like, it's like not working. But that was because even though I was listening to these, I didn't truly like believe them, if that makes sense. I was looking around my life and I was seeing all the lack, and I didn't like appreciate, and I wasn't grateful for all of the abundance that I already had in my life at that time, because like I said, it was kind of a dark period for me. But then fast forward like a couple years, I want to say, or maybe it was just 1 year, I don't know, a time had passed by, and I started to really get into law of attraction and manifestation. I started to do daily gratitude journaling and writing down the things I was grateful for. And it's crazy because once you change your mindset to gratitude, once you change your mindset to being grateful for all the things that you already have in your life, and thinking about how abundant you actually are and how lucky you are, because there are people who just don't, they would look at your life and they would be like, wow, your life is like so full of abundance, like you're so rich. That's what so many people in the world would say when they looked at your life. So if you start to adopt that mindset, it's crazy how fast this works, but you basically start to manifest and attract even more things that makes you feel grateful and abundant into your life. And I swear, I've only been doing this for like 6 months to maybe a year, and already I've invited so much more abundance into my life. And I really think it's like that shift in your mindset. So shifting to positivity and shifting away from the limiting belief system towards abundance. And one of the things that's going to really, really help you is self-love. So meditate on this, or write affirmations about yourself in your journal every day, or listen to like reprogramming videos on YouTube. But you have to adopt self-love and like self-worth practices, because a lot of the times your limiting belief systems is tied into that. You like don't think you deserve more because you don't love yourself enough, or you don't think you're worthy. So that's usually at the root of it, and addressing that is just gonna fast track everything and really help you adopt new belief systems that's going to serve you, and let go of these old belief systems that no longer serve you. And one thing that I think is important to kind of realize is to not be like negative about these limiting belief systems, because even though they are holding you back in a sense, these are belief systems that you kind of adopted as like a self-defense mechanism, as like a way to protect you, to keep you in like this safe little bubble. So to let them go, I like to think of it as like, thank you for trying to protect me and trying to keep me safe, but I've outgrown this and I'm ready to let you go and to adopt new belief systems, because I'm ready to move on to bigger and better things. And I think that's like a better way to go about it than to like resent it, because then you're again creating like more negativity around it, and that usually won't serve you. Okay, that's it for today's little video. I feel like it was more of a general video than like specific tips that I like to do, but I hope that you guys enjoy it and found value in this video. And if you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And guys, I am selling these cute little notebooks on my Etsy store, so I will link them down below if you want to check them out. Let me know what you want to see next, and I will see you next time. Bye!